Hey guys, what's up? Cat8099. So, I'm trying to show a few settings. Let's see option. It's here, full HD. Everything pretty much on. No, I don't have dual. I don't sync every frame. Otherwise, I think this caps you at 60 frames per second, but it's supposed to help screen turn. I don't know. It look horrible for me. Worse than what it does now. If I change this, then on the edges here, like right here, right here, I get a black bar. That's what I was talking about. And then there's a setting you do with your graphics card that will stretch. So I have a black bar, and so the thing will be like right in here, but it'll stretch it out. That's stretch. So I'll take what you see and then kind of stretches it side to side. So it makes things like how this guy here, make him look a little bit fatter that way. But you could play on a lower resolution, or you could keep the black bars and then you have a smaller screen space to look at. Automatic. So do this, but yeah, I got that. But I'll do a limited time so I don't run out. Let's go countdown. I'm just showing hopefully settings. Hopefully I don't forget something. I've done about 20 of these videos now, and they're not showing up somehow on my hard drive, so I put this on my primary hard drive instead of my external. I think, and then hopefully I could transfer to that to save videos later on. But let's see, auto. Right, so as you can see, I'm at 91 frames per second. No, I'm not doing anything. If you don't know the command, you open up your command line with this tilde. You have to have it. I don't know if I can do it from here. Oops. Multiplayer. No. Which one is it? Enable console. So you have to have it yes. If it's no, you won't be able to do it. Alright. So you open, and then you have to do the backspace before any command for it to stick. The backspace is that key. See up in my whole line up there? I thought you didn't type it. That's backspace. Right? So you do that. Now, let's see you want field of view. You don't remember the command line, you just want field of view. FOV. And it gives you a whole bunch. So see how the second one, it says CG underscore field of view 65. So you want the backspace there, CG, field of view, and then space, and then 65, it's the domain 65 to 80. That doesn't even tell you what default is. Some will say default set. Well, yeah, it does right under it. It says default 65. So here's what 80 looks like. Alright, so here's a good thing I like. Yeah, so I'm trying to center. So let's say I'm looking. That's about the top of that. Yeah, perfect. If you look on my right side, my field of view stops right there. I'm looking directly at the top of the pole. Left side, it stops roughly right here. See that? Right? You can't even see the pole in this one. Zoomed in. So, I'm kind of looking. So that's field of view 65. However, if you'll notice everything in front, it all went farther away. Let's go 65. So now I stop roughly right here. So I'm losing, not too much, just that much. Same thing over here, and roughly right here now, same thing, right? Losing that much. However, I have things out here. See, like that pole now? I can actually see. So 80, all of a sudden it's farther away. 65, bam, closer. Right, so granted that could be a nuisance, but everything, so if somebody's up there at 80, it's farther away, so it might be hard to see somebody who might be standing up there. Here, now somebody might stick out more. So that's basically what field of view does, guys. It makes all this stuff farther back so you could have more on the sides. It's basically having more on your screen. Sometimes it could take a hit in your frames per second, slightly, because now you're adding more. And it makes things farther away. Accuracy as far as aim, if I could see them, you can, but because if the guy's out here with a 85, it's going to be a smaller target to go for, so you're more accurate because things are bigger. So to me, it's a choice. It doesn't really do the most. That's field of view. Their command for FPS. Now you have CG draw, the first one, and then COM, axe FPS, the third one down. Those are the two common ones. I'm surprised people don't know this, but now if I already have it set to 1, as you can see, simple, and that on my lower right corner it says 91 frames per second. You can see that. My upper left, which is green, if you can see, that's from my shadow play. You know, if I hit 0, it takes it away. That just shows your frames per second. Now, again, go back from the COM. Okay, here. See, default 85. 85 is always going to be 91. Unless your computer can't handle it. Basic default up to 85. If things happen, it'll be less. Lunar, probably at 30. No, I'm just kidding. You know, max, maybe 60. Just desktops, you know, we can go farther up. No, I'm kidding. Anyways, if you put 0 there, it will allow anything. It maxes it out. So right now, on this map, I'm getting 240 or so with how I have my settings, but it depends. It looks more centered, there's more things that the computer has to do. Come way out here, look to nothing, and it knocks. It's quite a bit out there. But yeah, it just changes wherever you're looking at. Look up in the sky, you know, I'm over 300, right? It's just where we're looking at here. It's even less, 160 with all the smoke and stuff. That's actually pretty good for settings on this map. But your graphics is kind of working. Let's set it up. So I like, I'll do, oops. Oh wait, what am I doing? I just hit it there. I've always used 125 now. It doesn't, smoothness is just the same as 85, the default, or 60 roughly is smooth as well. I only use this because I play a Death Front server that you have to have 125 because I don't have jump on. 250 lets you jump a little bit farther, not by much, but just enough that some jumps you can't get to, even if you do the, which that is, you could jump farther than just running and jumping. Oops. Which is like they call it a strafe jump. So you can go a little bit farther. With 250, you can go even a hair farther, and then 125. I know you could jump. I don't know if it will show here, but compared to 85. Well, see this one actually. See, I'm not quite hitting that. The first one I do, I don't know if you can see the difference really, but usually what I've known with game mechanics, it just seems you can hit jumps. I played a Death Round where it seemed like I couldn't hit a jump until I went to 125, and then you could jump. And those servers usually have them preset 125, 250, and 333. And they even have it in thing where you could bind those, so I bind them to my mouse. But yeah, that's why I don't even use 125. Otherwise, I just use default. Other games, I mean, so it doesn't bother me to do it. I've just always done 125. And that way I don't have to change to that when I go to their servers. So 91, whatever, it's not far off, I don't care. This is what default is. You see it in the setting, it's actually 85, but it reversed to 91. So I really don't care to use that. Field of view, same thing. So anyways, I don't see it as an advantage. Agree, disagree, that's your call. But for instance, here's something that I think is a little bit more. That rock out there, you can see, right? These ones you can't see. You can see. Sorry. Alright, when you just remember these show up. Mine is set, so I have to be way back here to see. So now you don't see those. If I zoom in though, you can. If I use pistol, you can't. So I'm hiding those. To me, that's an advantage. Because now if I'm here, I can't see if a guy's in there unless I back up, unless they're shooting at me. So we allow people to hide in those, and we don't call that an advantage. I mean, but I have a field of view. It is. I mean, honestly, what are we doing? I don't agree with it. Spot here to even it out the score. No skill rigid. So see, there's the command line R_LOD for this, which I knew. I was just showing you guys. And there's skill skin and skill rigid. The skin one, they really don't do anything. And if you look, this domain is number 1 to 4. If you look for it, it says scale the level of detailed distance from rigid model, larger reduces. So default is 1. Skin is the exact same, except instead of rigid, it's skin models. I don't really know. I'm not a person. 1 to 4. So bam. See what happened? If I zoom into there, but if not, until let's see. I could be zoomed in here and still see somebody. I got this. See? So I think that was skin at one time. So I don't know. Maybe it's people are different, but rigid does it too. So it does help my FPS. If I had it maxed out, you'll see it usually having those gone will drop my or raise it by like 20 or 30 at least. Watch. So look, I'm at 230. I start getting close. Hold on. Well, that doesn't help. I don't know why I could. So look, about 250, 260. One. Look, it goes down to 220 about. So makes that 30, 40 FPS right there just from that. So I used to have that on my old computer because it helped. It does help. But that, like I said, takes those away. But is it really a advantage? You know what? People hiding in that. It's already an advantage, so it just allows you to be here to see them instead of across the map. But guess what? If I'm here, I can't see them, but they could still see me. So you tell me, I mean, that's again, hiding in that is already an advantage in itself. This just makes it so it's almost like they're being wide open, but it's still stuff like that still show up. So it's not like all of a sudden that goes away. I mean, so I don't know. Next to my thoughts. A mouse. I have a gaming mouse. All right, so I need my pistol, for instance. This right now I don't have my mouse wheel is set to knife. I have it only on click. I could also put it on free spin, which will keep knife in as long as it's spinning until I stop it. Right, but that's not quite an advantage. I use up and down as a knife. That's me. It's usually just right next to my fire just to do that. And then I have 2 buttons on my as well as my keyboard. 4 and G for grenade, right? 4 is my flash, but I have 2 buttons for my thumb. So this is flash for my mouse. and this is my grenade. Those are both on my mouse as well as my keyboard. Looking, I have a button that I could hold down, and now I can look fast. Like I said, I like it slow when I'm aiming on guys, but if I need a here because I'm getting shot, I could hit the button. I don't, in this game I don't use it as often. A game like Counter-Strike, you know, if I flash in here, you know, I don't have any more flash, but bam, I throw my flash, I look away, it goes off, that's your button, and look back. Counter-Strike can move a lot slower, by the way. You don't run like this, you don't run. Either you can walk slow, super slow, or almost like crouch walk. Oh, actually this one you crouch the same speed, so, but you go super slow in Counter-Strike. So, but yeah, you want to come in here, you flash, and Counter-Strike, I could toss it across the map, and as long as I'm looking at it, I'm gonna get flashed. Kind of sucks, not, you know, but bam, you flash. If you look away, you don't hit it, and then you look back, and then you bust. So that's usually where you use that mouse button. I'll be in a spot, and I'll, you know, toss a flash there, look away real fast, goes off, look back, and then I'm ready to aim. So otherwise, I don't use that button too often. I might even just swap it up and just use it as a shift or something. Which I mean, my mouse, I could do a lot. I could make that shift, and then my left and right clicks could be other buttons like grenade tosses or calling in airstrikes, right? I mean, there's keyboards have macros and things on them. Macros in this game aren't usually as big because there's not too many things that you need a series of buttons to do at one time. But if you're playing like a fighting game, it comes in handy. It's great for maybe commands, you know, if you want to do two things at once. But let's see, you have a couple warnings, like maybe you want to warn somebody of using cheats and under map or something. You could do both instead with the macro, but you got them individually binded to, I don't know. Kind of think headset makes a difference. Next to keyboard though, button pushes. If you have a gaming keyboard, obviously as soon as you push the button down, it will click in, and you can put multiple buttons at one time, right? So that could be an advantage. Like I said, my mouse sensitivity is low, but my DPI is also 400 or 450, something like that. So I can change my DPI. So those are advantages. I mean, and then here's, like I was showing you with this is here's how it fires. My pistol, not fast, quicker. I could go real fast, but watch this. Some people don't even know how to do this, so there's another thing people could do. I'm not against it. Attack. Let me go mouse up. So, and let me take it off. Look at that. I can make it almost a full auto if I want to. So, do I? No, but some people are used to it, you know. Or, sorry, I just have it up. So, put it back how I like it. Oh yeah, here's where I use my button out mostly to is when I go to like the menu like that. Do not instead of my button, I also have two buttons that I could switch my DPI without holding it. So I got that one, super fast, and there's like really, you know, super. I barely move my mouse and put it all over. Sometimes I'll use one of those just in game, just to play, to have a challenge. You know, not smoke everybody, you know. Sometimes I'll put on a higher DPI that I'm not quite used to, so it gives me a challenge instead of when I want to really play. yeah, but that could be a good advantage, just using different DPIs and, like I said, a mouse. So those three are the commands that I know of. Sorry, field of view, max frames per second are the two up for grabs, and I don't see them as an advantage at all. I went back to my default settings with actually I was using 60 frames per second. Now that I know it's 91, I'll just use that. It's default, or 85, and then field of view 65. Like I said, targets farther away, I hit them easier. If I'm coming like here, my field of view, you know, I'd be able to see him here. You know, if I'm right here, I could see somebody. So now I have to kind of look. So you have to look a little bit more than normal. So that's it. Like I said though, if we're talking about advantages, I mean, I just think we may lose players. I know a lot who like 125 field of view. I know we like it. I don't see taking those away. I think maps have advantages like that. I can name 100 maps, Blog or Block or no Bog, where people get out in the buildings. That's a huge area, and usually once someone's out there, it's hard to get them. Crossfire, not really much other than there's a tall building that you can get behind a little box and sit there for a while. If you get enough aim, like especially Morty, pinpoint accuracy all the time, almost impossible to take them out. There's a building Smug likes to get behind. You get in the tree, and that makes it hard for people to see you. Vacant, same thing, right? If you get out, you're out. Buildings on that map. Vents, lots of vents you can get into. A few other maps that you could get into, domes and stuff. I mean, those are advantages. We don't allow undermap, but we allow getting into those. I mean, things are available. You know, use it to your advantage, and if you think it is, right? Otherwise, you don't kind of like we use nades. If somebody thinks a nade is too overpowered, or a grenade launcher, you know what? Use it yourself. Learn how to use it. You know, field of view. I mean, I'm not a computer great with them. Most of the stuff I know is because I looked up. My old PC, I couldn't handle some things. I looked up how to do graphics and changed. Otherwise, I love having all this graphic stuff. Maps that have rain, I love having all that. So I think it makes everything look beautiful, but you do what you gotta do to have above 60 frames per second. Because watch, my old computer, I usually ran close to about this. Now look at the choppiness, and they say 30 frames per second is supposed to be smooth, or that you could play at 30. Anything above that, it's not true. Now I think it might be about 45. See, it's a lot smoother, and it smooths out, and now I can play. And then you can see a little different, but not much. My last computer, I was lucky to get 45 on low settings. Usually ran, well, about 45. A map like this, maybe 30, and if bombs and airstrikes was going off, I'd be playing about like this, and that was with changing settings to be for good graphics, for some additional settings like the rigid, scanned, and all that low, so things don't show up farther, and it would still be, this was usually about a low, so I mean, you know, you do what you gotta do to play. I mean, that was an old PC. Now this one, I could have it way up there. So, in fact, if I set it to 0 and get, like I said, about 400, like on Crossfire sometimes, I'll get CIs because I guess it's too high. So, yeah, this is one of the more graphic maps that we have, or that's in the game. So, anyways, I'm hoping this video shows you guys a few settings. Except for me, the rigid, is one of the more, could be advantages because these I can get closer and it shows. But to me, hiding in the rocks is an advantage. So I think it just alleviates people doing that. But field of view really doesn't do much. I mean, I showed you guys the difference. Right, like I said, you can see farther on the edges, but everything out there now is farther away if you change it. Right, oh. See. So, guys going up through the air are smaller. So, it's people's call, I think, on that. And by the way, if you hit your tilde key and you've done commands already, like for instance, if you want to do Archon, even if you hit shift or shift tilde, you can still go through your command. So if you have a player that you warned or that maybe you've done it's a name changer and you've done your Archon status, and you just hit up instead of retyping it each time. You just hit up, enter. But you can go through any command you've already typed in. So, if you have, like I said, a player, you change the name, hit up, enter a couple times, and it'll show down here and here that what it that player. Oh, and by the way, sorry, that I have a touch screen, so if I touch like just off to the side, watch this. Oh, this is actually not doing it. Oh, there we go. If I touch and then move. So I have to try to get it like right on my center of the screen and then move. Which actually changes my gun then, but yeah, I can make him spin fast. That's kind of cool. That's my touch screen. Sorry though. The wife, I usually deactivate it. My wife likes it. My kids love it. They play fantasy games, so they just tap the screen when they find something. So sometimes you'll see me spinning because I'll wipe something on my screen and I'll oops. So yeah. But anyways, those are the few that I know. I know there's max packet flow. By the way, I'll show you again. If you don't know the command, you just start typing what you know part of it. So I have mine 100, default's 30. You can go up to 100, or 15, 100. I read some, I think tap out. Well, if you change that, it just allows more packets, or however it does that. It could make your ping lower. Tap out had a section that had other settings too, so I might have done some of those. I don't remember. On this PC, I don't remember doing it. I have a pretty good ping. For higher pings, I did it on my old computer where I was sitting at about 110 usually, and it dropped me to like 60 or 70. And I had bad or worse internet connection. Now I have a pretty good one, and I'm sitting at 51 usually about for our server. Once in a while it spikes. And that's with my wife watching movies and my kids. So 51 ping with them watching movies is pretty good. And even when they're not, I still get that because my router and modem doesn't split like most, so it keeps me whatever. So if I'm at 51 in her server, I'm gonna stay even if my wife gets on. But sometimes it'll initially spike and then drop, so it doesn't split until maybe all my kids are on devices watching movies. Anyways, so he had a thing at one time. I think it's still stickied in some place where it tells how to maybe drop your ping by 10, 20, 30, depending on what for some people. So there's some settings that allows basically less that you have to receive and send, so it makes you get better. So again, you know, there's graphic settings people can change to do things as well. I think it's just personal. Now, there are settings that can take the smoke out. I don't know if I know them. To allow smoke. I don't know if let's see. Oh. I don't know all that. I know I don't know nothing. But I think there's something out there that you can get that takes these out. So I think the stuff I do doesn't. I'm wiping something on my screen. Sorry. But I mean, to me, that could be a cheat. I don't know. Why isn't? Let's see. Oh, maybe that was grenade. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I hate messing with stuff, right? I wish there was a line that just says default stuff. But to make everything go back to default, I mean, the only thing with that is your resolution gets messed up. Default's that, what is it, 1280 by 730 something or whatever the default, or I guess well, yeah, resolution, monitor size, bigger monitor, things look even bigger. Yeah, 1280 by 720, I think. Or actually, it's usually 11. This one 1070 as default. See if I do that. I'm not going to stretch mine, but see, I don't know if you can see from this black bars on the side. Stretch, what I have to do now. See how this looks? This guy. Stretch will just go on the sides more. Is I have to go into my actual graphic settings. Watch. Hope this doesn't do my. Oh, let me do my deep cat. This is where I change my deep cat height on the fly. So I'll go in my graphics. Someone who might haven't see full screen, but so this is my resolution normally current in game. So if I do override the scaling model, let me try it. Hopefully I don't lose my video. Right. If I go in game now it's stretched. So you can see the guy's a little bit fatter. Everything's kind of pulled to the sides. And you see the little still at this thing though. That's what stretch is. And then sometimes it messes. Because remember, it used to go from here to here. So now I'm going to the full screen. So side to side. See how I'm going up and down? Side to side is a little bit faster. Because it's stretched. So it feels like it's faster. No way, it's not. It's just because things are stretched, so it's still almost the same. It feels like it though. See, so how he's smaller. So that's stretched. That could be an advantage for some because it actually makes heads look a little bigger. Like this, it's stretched out. So it makes it. It'll be like if I stretched this, the head would come out a little bit farther. So, anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, Global Defense Counter-Strike. I think people would get banned from there if it wasn't allowed. but it's the same way. The difference in Counter-Strike, you don't need a backspace, and some of the things are slightly different for the command. Like I don't think it's max FPS or the comm in front type things. So other games like Advanced Warfare, Field of View, or you can actually change in game. It allows you to change from 65 to 90, I think, through the menu. So that one actually has it in the menu now. But remember, you gotta remember, Call of Duty came from a day that they allowed players to do a lot more command them. That's why there's mods. That's why there's thousands of maps. Other games, you can buy all that. So, I mean, you know, and some of that, it's kind of like having that laser. You know, is that a laser thing to shoot? If it is, then why do we allow it in K3? That's part of the options. In fact, you go to K3, how to put the laser on it, and then go to our low gravity server without exiting the game. A lot of times that laser will be there. You have to manually turn it off. It's almost like a glitch. So, to me, I don't know if there's a way to check that. I know that skill rigid I was talking about. I go to some servers and they you have to have it between 1 and 2. I go to another one, it has to be 1. I go on other servers and it doesn't matter. So it's basically Call of Duty left into servers to an admin to do what you want. So I mean, ultimately Lunar, it's Lunar's call. I'm just trying to show what it looks like so he knows. You could go play, but you could see it. Morty and someone else might have other commands. So I'd love to, if they don't want to, maybe get them and try to incorporate them and show what they do. If there's an advantage or not to them, or if they actually show a difference. So some won't, like the max package, you won't see other than ping, you know, if it lowers your ping or not. But you know what? Can't say all over ping gets an advantage if Morty could come in with 200 and something ping and just wipe everybody out. You know, you get used to what you have and play with it. For the longest time, I used 65 Field of View. And then, in fact, my best game so far is with that Field of View. I think it was 15-1 or 15-2. I just recently started using 80 on Call of Duty 4. Like a few months ago. They'll try it. So, and yeah, I've had good games too, but I do just as good. I mean, you just play with it and you get used to it. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if I need to do another one, cool. Alright, there you go, guys.